You feel the vibe is contagious. Look in your eyes, shit is dangerous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see from all the things behind me, we have prepared for baby, and baby is already here, which is why I'm going to be uploading my videos in a sense backwards. So you guys stay tuned, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell as well so you know every time I upload a new video. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I became pregnant, how Clomid worked in my favor, and also give some tips out on some of the steps that you could possibly take in your TTC journey that could possibly help you while you try to conceive. The most important thing, the first thing I want to talk about is finding a great doctor. This is very important because not every doctor has your best interest, and you really want to do your research in the beginning so that you won't run into any issues like I did. I did have that horrible experience where I went to see a few doctors and they just did not have my best interest. They told me all types of things of what I had, diagnosing me with this and that, and telling me I was never going to have kids and this, that, and the third. So you really want to do your research, and you really want to find somebody who has your best interest. That's the number one thing. Number two, what I did was when I actually did find a doctor that worked for me, basically, she ordered some tests before she decided to prescribe me any type of medication. And so that's what you want to do first. You want to have your blood work done so that they can check all your hormone levels to make sure that they're in range, so that they know that, they can rule out PCOS or any type of hormonal insufficiency that could possibly be causing the issue. And so that's what I did first. And then after that, she had ordered for me to have an ultrasound done. So I had a ultrasound done, and then I also had a transvaginal ultrasound so that she can check to make sure that my uterus was in good condition. All of my lab hormone results came back normal, and my ultrasounds came back normal, so that was good. And so the next thing that she wanted me to do is take a Hsg test, and what that is basically to check to make sure that your fallopian tubes are open and not blocked in any type of way, because it doesn't make any sense for you to take Clomid if your fallopian tubes aren't open for your eggs to move and drop in the first place. So she definitely wanted to check that. My experience with the Hsg test was very, very interesting, and if you guys would like to hear about what I experienced taking that particular test, please put a comment down below and let me know, and I'll make a video about that in the future. I took the Hsg test and my results came back normal, so that was good. And so she prescribed me 2 medications to use in combination to start the process. And so she started me on Provera to go ahead and start my bleed. So I took a pill for 10 days, and then 2 to 3 days after that I was supposed to start my menstrual cycle, so start the bleed. And then on days 5 to 9 of my menstrual cycle, I was supposed to start taking the Clomid. So for 5 days, take the Clomid starting on days 5 of my cycle all the way to day 9 of my cycle. And then going forward, I started taking OPKs, or ovulation tests, to see if I was ovulating. So me personally, in the past, I have never been successful in getting a positive result on an ovulation test. I don't think that my body reacts to the ovulation test. Maybe my hormone levels don't get high enough to show results on the test, but it just doesn't work, which is why I would suggest that you don't use the clear blue digital ovulation kits, because they're very expensive, and if your body doesn't ovulate on its own, it's a huge possibility that those tests are not going to give you a result, period. So I would save my money and save my time, but it never worked for me. So I was very discouraged on using it. However, I didn't want to go in taking the medication blindly and just not knowing, so I took it in hopes that the results would pan out for me. And it did, but it didn't at the same time, and I'll explain that a little bit. I started taking the medication. We baby dance every other day as normal or whatnot, and sometimes more, I don't know, but we did what we needed to do in order to make this thing happen. There was a day that we fasted for atonement last year. It was sometime in September, and the crazy part is, it's like I started getting ovulation symptoms. Now, me researching, going online, figuring out like, what am I supposed to feel to know that I'm ovulating? Because obviously I did not ovulate, in the past, which is why I was having to take the Clomid in the first place to help me ovulate. And so with that being said, I was like, what are the symptoms? So I started to feel these symptoms on that day that I was fasting. And of course, me fasting, me and my husband weren't able to have sex. And so with that being said, I was like, crap, like it was really a test of my faith, because in all honesty, I was like, I don't want to miss this window. But at the same time, I was just kind of like, I'm fasting, I'm fearful of the Lord, and I'm not going to do it. And so I didn't do it. However, that night when the fast was over, we ended up, meeting up with a couple that we knew, and we had dinner. And then after we had dinner, we baby danced. So technically we didn't miss the whole window. It was just not really knowing, where that 24 to 48 hours, started and when it was going to end as far as the ovulation process. That really had me on edge. But like I said, it was a test of my faith, and I decided to be faithful to the Lord. And so I waited until after the fast to baby dance. This might have been the day that I ovulated, because even when I took the ovulation test that day, multiple times that day, and even the day after, it did appear, like the line did appear a little bit darker on the cheepy than it did like the previous days. And then like a couple of days after, I took it again, and then it started to get lighter. So I was like, it had to have been like that day, or like around that time that I ovulated. And so with that being said, I used that day to count 10 days, or 14 days rather, before I started to test for pregnancy. And so I couldn't wait, obviously, to 14 days. So I tested on day 10, and that's when I found out that I was pregnant. I was very happy about that. And this was actually my second time, or my second round of Clomid that I fell pregnant. The first round of Clomid that I took earlier, 2018, which is because 2018 was the year that I got pregnant. So I took my first round of Clomid like around February or March 2018, and obviously, it was unsuccessful. But I did the same process or whatnot, and I just stopped because I just kind of got discouraged in the beginning. But this second time around, one thing that I can say that I did different was take prenatal vitamins before and while I was going through the process. And I did not do that the first time. I don't know if that's gonna 100% guarantee that you will ovulate and then on top of that get pregnant. But I do know for a fact that I did not do that on the first round. I did it faithfully on the second round, and I got pregnant. One other thing that I forgot to mention, after me having the symptoms of ovulation and me really having like a feeling like I ovulated, I did contact my doctor, and I requested that she order me a progesterone test. And so what that does is that checks to see if you ovulated. And I had my blood taken. I waited a couple of days, and she emailed me, and she was like, like, you ovulated, like, congratulations. Let's just hope that we did what we were supposed to do in that window to have a positive pregnancy test. So that was very exciting. And that's another thing that I feel like a lot of women don't really know about. I don't know, depending on your insurance, but that's definitely something that I did request because I wanted to know. The first round of Clomid, I also took the progesterone test, and the levels was 0.4 in whatever measurement it is, and I did not ovulate, and that's like really, really low. This time around, when I took the progesterone test for the second round of Clomid, my numbers were 44.4 in whatever the measurement is. So from 0.4 to 44.4 is a huge difference. And so with that being said, I did obviously ovulate, and so that's like one of the key things that I would say to ask your doctor to do after taking the ovulation test, just to make sure that your body actually did ovulate. So that concludes this video, you guys. I'm hoping that it was helpful to someone. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm open to questions. And keep up with the videos. Hit the bell button and subscribe, because I will be posting more videos. And until next time, thanks.